Here now with reaction. He is the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. Jim Jordan is with us, sir. You know, I'm getting a little sick and tired of this comment that are made by liberal commentators and by Democrats. There's not a shred of evidence, nothing at all whatsoever, that ties Hunter Biden and his foreign business dealings with Joe Biden. Now, Jim Jordan, I think it would probably in a minute you could blow that right out of the water. So I will ask you.
Yeah, there's meetings, there's dinners, there's phone calls, multiple times. The only thing that's changed in this whole thing is the story from the White House. First they said nothing, and then we find out, oh, all these multiple meetings, multiple dinners, multiple phone calls into with Joe Biden as part of these. So for them to say that there's nothing there is just ridiculous. And it goes right back to the beginning, Sean, when Joe Biden sits down with the mayor of Moscow, with Hunter Biden, with his business partners, and says, no, he never had any involvement. This is the same lady that gave Hunter Biden over $1 million, $3.5 million. It all starts back in 2014, and she's connected to Burisma. She's connected to where this all starts. So for them to say that makes no sense. That's why we're going to have an impeachment inquiry vote. It'll help us get additional witnesses in, which will buttress, I think, the already compelling evidence that we have.
All right, well, but it wasn't, you're talking about Elena Baturina, that's the Russian oligarch, that's the former First Lady of Moscow, but it wasn't just the $3.5 million. Didn't Devin Archer testify and say that she invested over $100 million in
the real estate
venture that Hunter was involved in and the family was involved in? That's $100 million from a Russian oligarch. And by the way, the same Russian oligarch he had dinner with at Cafe Milano, correct?
Correct. And the timing is interesting because when that first investment happens, it's in February of 2014. It happens a week before Russia invades Crimea. And then it's 2 weeks after when there are sanctions put on all kinds of oligarchs in Russia. And for some reason, she escapes the sanctions. And then literally the very next month in Italy is when the head of the Burisma offers Hunter Biden a position on the board, and at that meeting is also none other than Elena Baturina. So they're all connected right from the get-go, and they continue this pattern of shaking down foreign companies, foreign influence, and getting the money all the way through while he's vice president, and then, of course, it continued all the way into 2018.
Okay, let's look at, I think, the biggest slam dunk case, and that is the Burisma case, because and again, I'll throw out the dates. It was October of 2015. It became official Obama administration policy that they had felt, interagency groups had felt that Ukraine made enough progress on the issue of corruption that they were willing to give $1 billion in loan guarantees. That's October of 2015. Okay, fast forward, December of 2015. 5 days before Joe goes to Ukraine, Hunter in Dubai with Burisma executives, the people paying him millions of dollars, they call Joe Biden. And 5 days later, Joe Biden then goes against Obama administration policy while he's in Ukraine, leverages $1 billion taxpayer dollars. And as a result, they gave him 6 hours to fire the prosecutor investigating Burisma, investigating his son. And that official action as vice president then benefited his son, who admitted he had no experience in Ukraine, energy, oil, or gas, but was being paid millions of dollars, and admitted he was an addict at the time. So how is that not his involvement? Because he seems very involved in it.
No, we think it certainly was, and you're exactly right. He leverages your tax dollars, the people I represent, their tax dollars, the American people's tax money. He leverages that to get an outcome that will benefit the company his son sits on the board of. That all happened as clear as day. And I always say there are 4 fundamental facts here. Fact number 1, Hunter Biden gets put on that board of Burisma. Fact number 2, he's not qualified. He said so himself. He said he got the job because of his last name, which, by the way, was confirmed by his business partner, Devin Archer, when we deposed him this past summer. Fact number 3, as you point out, he's asked to relieve the pressure that they're under from the prosecutor. Fact number 4, he goes there, gets the prosecutor fired, but uses our tax money to accomplish that goal. Again, old as time. This story is as old as it gets. Politician does certain things that benefit his family financially, and then most importantly, there's an effort to conceal it, an effort to cover it up, sweep it under the rug, which is what David Weiss has done now for 5 years, both as the U.S. attorney and now, again, I believe, as special counsel.
Okay, then he's making more money in energy or more energy deals, and that goes to the WhatsApp message. If you remember the 1023 form. Now, in that WhatsApp message, I am sitting here next to my father. They're mad that you didn't fulfill your commitment. Between everybody he knows, my ability to hold a grudge, you're going to regret not following through on your commitment. Anyway, we're sitting here, meaning Hunter and Joe, waiting for the call. And didn't Hunter also implicate his father as being a recipient of the money, half my income to Pops? Didn't we learn from Jason Smith's committee last week that Joe himself, using an alias account, an email account, was emailing directly with Eric Sherwin? Don't we have emails between Sherwin and Hunter that say, what account should I take the money out of to pay for Dad's home repairs? Didn't we have Hunter complaining half his income goes to Pops? So it seems to me like that's all implicating Joe Biden. And then we hear again and again, there's no evidence. I'll give you the last word on this.
Well, and it's why we want to move forward with this impeachment inquiry vote where the full House goes on record. A majority of the House of Representatives says, yes, we're in official impeachment inquiry phase of our oversight responsibilities, because we think we'll be able to get additional emails better from the administration. We'll have a better chance of getting them if we have to go to court. And we'll get to have in for depositions these people we're talking with. We think they're going to come in, but they'll come in sooner. They'll come in faster if, in fact, we have an official vote and pass that on Wednesday.
But Ken Buck says he won't. Do you see any Democrats that maybe don't want Joe at the top of the ticket? Are they going to join forces with Republicans on this and vote for the impeachment inquiry? You doubt it?
I doubt it. But I do think we're going to get enough Republican votes. There's a couple other people I want to talk to. But I do think we'll get the Republican votes and be able to get all the info. We've got a lot now, and I think it's compelling, as we just talked about. But I think we'll be able to get more information if, in fact, we have that vote, and inevitably have to go to court to get the documents and get some of these witnesses in for the depositions.
Maybe you'll lose Ken Buck. I mean, he's not been particularly helpful on pretty much everything. Anyway, Jim Jordan, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.